Conspiracy theories are something that you're either really into or you find them to be entirely ridiculous. I don't know too many people who find themselves in the in-between area, except there are probably some conspiracy theories that each one of us would have to admit we find credible. Well, we're going to talk about some conspiracy theories today, and we're actually focused on some that we think are maybe a little more lighthearted, a little sillier, and at the same time, we want to be careful that we're not making fun of anyone or belittling anyone who might, in fact, find those theories credible. Well, it's going to be a fun conversation any way you look at it. So put on the brakes, grab a cup of coffee, and join the conversation because it's time for Coffee Breaks with Steve. Welcome to Coffee Breaks with Steve. My name is Steve Glavin, and this is the show where we come together around our virtual coffee table each week and join the conversation to chat about interesting topics with amazing guests. If you're joining us for the first time today, welcome. And if you've been with us before, welcome back. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. I want to actually bring my co-conspirator for the day into the conversation. Karissa is going to be here with her. Karissa, hello.
Howdy.
It says something really bizarre there. It says you're actually an alien. I don't
know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
I also want to get our comments going here and see who's on. And Rick is here. Good morning, Rick. Carla is here. Good morning. Kathy is here. Hi. I have to tell you something right off the bat in terms of just this. This could be a kind of a bizarre episode, because as I was getting ready, I forgot to go back upstairs and actually get my coffee. I do not have coffee here. So,
and I do, which is unusual. So
I know I may have to have you, like, I may run upstairs for a minute and grab the coffee and just have you.
And I'll entertain everybody.
Or I could call Carol and ask if she could bring
me some coffee.
Yeah, I might be able to get by without it here.
It's like door dashing.
It just seems odd not to have it. Christopher, good meowing.
Christopher is here.
Wow.
There's a cat in the house.
I know. There's a cat. The cat is in the house.
Cat.
There is a little bit of controversy around actually you being here. If we go back the last couple of weeks and even our promos for this episode, you and Shalane were both going to be here.
Oh God!
And we were promoting that a couple of weeks back.
This is a conspiracy in and of itself.
Yeah. Then you were not going to be able to be here, and we were promoting that just Shalane would be here with me. And then you said, "Yeah, I will be able to be there," and so we promoted that both you and Shalane would be here with me again. And then Shalane found out that she could not be here.
And we were having issues this week.
I think it is a conspiracy. I really feel
it's really a conspiracy. We're just out to drive you crazy.
I'm glad you're here. That's the bottom line to it. Yeah. So we're going to be having. I think it's going to be a fun conversation, Karissa. You and I talked about this a little bit, and I think that just having a conversation about this topic is fun, right? It should be fun.
Hopefully, it should be. It's entertaining at the very least.
Well, at the very least, it should entertain some. And we've got some extra things that we want to do to entertain here in a minute. But we're going to start by getting into, and by the way, I got to get you in here.
Oh, yeah, okay. You forgot me.
See, I don't have my coffee, and so
he needs the coffee.
I might need the coffee.
Mom, get him the coffee.
If she's tuned in, I don't think she's necessarily tuned in. I know she did have a workshop, an online workshop she was supposed to be going to. I tried to call her while the pre-video was running, and it didn't. Hey, Christopher, do me a favor.
Call your mom.
Call your mom and ask her if she can bring a cup of coffee down to me. Let's see if this works. I want to see what happens. If we try this, everybody text Carol.
Everybody message Carol and say, "Get Steve coffee."
Jeez, it's going to be one of those days.
I'm going to message her right now. Dad needs coffee help.
Yeah. Are you texting her? Okay. Let's see. I want to see what happens. She's going to come downstairs. She's going to say,
I
what
need
did you do?
coffee.
Um, yeah.
Coffee. Help.
So I'm going to let you
Okay,
do
I'm
that. And then we need to get to, I want to get to the, I can't see, I don't have my coffee. Sweet and savory,
the
Karissa.
charcuterie.
The charcuterie. And Shalane is not here. And again, Shalane was going to be here, and then she found out she had to work today, so she's not on. So Rick, once I do get my coffee, or if you see Karissa drinking, you can do the everybody thank you. All right, I think Rick's got this. Yeah, it does sound like a conspiracy to me too. Hey, sweet and savory, I want to cover a couple of things here that are kind of fun this week. Did you know that this is not brand new news, although it's been getting some attention lately. Did you know that there are two towns in California, central California area, that are 20 miles apart on the map as the crow flies, but because they sit on sort of either side of the Sierra Nevadas, it's a 350-mile trip by road to get there. There's no other way to get there. And the towns are called, and I'm not going to probably pronounce this one right, Kanawires, Kanawayers, Kanawires. If somebody knows how this is supposed to be pronounced, put a phonetic.
Put it phonetically in the chat.
Independence are the two towns, and they're actually 350 miles by the only direct road that gets you from one to the other. You can see, I think, on this version of the map, you can see that basically they're just, this far apart.
No.
But you have to go this extraordinary
It's better to go
route.
Horseback at that point.
Oh my gosh. There's actually people who do hiking trails across that region of the forest and the mountains can actually get there sometimes faster, because it takes like over 6 hours.
Wow.
By vehicle to get from one side to the other. Hi, Jerry. I see that Jerry Thompson is here. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Yeah. So, yeah, that one I thought was kind of interesting. So, in any commute, can you imagine living in one town and working in the other? It's 20 miles away. When we were living in California, we lived in Pleasanton, and I worked in San Jose, and it was like 30 miles away.
Right.
And I would complain that it would take me 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes coming home with heavy traffic, an hour and a half to get home. 6.5 hours to get from one town to another. That's just crazy.
That is
I have no complaints about any commute that I'm doing to get anywhere.
I feel like I take it all back.
That would be the equivalent of time of driving from Spokane to the Oregon coast.
Yeah.
Beyond, yeah. I mean, your place or further.
Yeah.
Just crazy stuff. Also, you know what's coming up? We're actually, this is a couple of weeks out, but there's a reason why we're sharing some things that are a couple of weeks out. Because we'll talk about this more at the end of the episode, but we're taking next Saturday off from coffee break. So we want to talk about a few things that are going to be coming up. We've done some fun things with April Fool's Day on this show in the past. We're kind of skipping over. Time is a conspiracy. That's true. Steve, thank you, Jerry. I do. I don't know why, but I mean, I am literally struggling with this.
Mom's bringing it.
Is she? Okay. It's just, listen, we do what we must. I'm just glad that she's not in the middle of her workshop. We do have one birthday that we want to talk about as well. I want to know, before we do that, do you do anything? Have you ever done anything at home with family in work settings for April Fools that you can think of?
I'm not good at the
practical jokes.
Practical jokes. You're the king of that. Really, in our family, you are the master, and I feel like I can't measure up, so I don't.
I did one in one work setting that I didn't expect to work as well as it did. I was a small office, and the copy machine sat pretty much right outside of my office door.
This would
have been around 1998, 1999.
Like that, yeah.
Okay, and I got in really early, and I put a sign on I made a note for the copy machine, and I was trying to play a joke on our operations director. I made it look like it came from her because I wanted people to be going in and like making remarks to her about it. either because they caught on to the joke or because it was frustrating them. And it went a different direction and even better than I could have imagined. The note basically said that the copy machine vendor had put a new module in that made it voice activated. And the only way it would work would be to say certain phrases to it. And that was how you got copies made. And I started watching people, look at this. Thank you. How special. Now the show can go. Thank you, Carol. I love you. Got my coffee. The people from the off. I mean, I started hearing my coworkers out there talking to this machine.
Your cubicle was close to where the copier was, right? Like
I had an actual office, and yeah, it was like I had my door open, and it was like right across from my office. Even the owner of the company, who was kind of a stick in the mud, and could be real, like he could get real, I want to see this. I put little compression poppers under the toilet seat, so when you sat there with the bang. Okay, I have to appreciate that one, Rick. But the boss, the owner of the company, came out there and started talking to her. I could hear him out there, and he was just like, he was getting frustrated with it. And then all of a sudden, it dawned on him what was going on. And for some reason, he knew.
He knew where to go.
He came right into my office. And he was laughing, and he said, "That is so funny. Leave it up there. I want to see." His office was next to mine. I want to see how many more people get caught. So that was a good one. I've done a few others that I was pretty proud of, but that one stands out.
I like that
one birthday that we wanted to talk about. It's actually coming up a week after next. Jason Boris. He and his wife Sherilyn are both teachers in California. They've been on this show before talking about their experiences and their story, both music teachers in Pleasanton, California. Jason is celebrating a birthday on March 31st, again, the week after this next one. And we want to wish Jason a very, very happy birthday. That was the only one that I had on my calendar, but do you have a special day this week? Any of you out there in the Brew Crew? Let us know in the chat. Maybe you have a special day coming up. As so many of us do down the road. Do you have a special day coming up down the road? You do, before too much longer, Karissa. Shh, we won't talk about it. But it doesn't have to be a birthday. It could be a wedding anniversary. It could be, your bar mitzvah. It could be, maybe it's a special day for someone very close to you. And you want to make sure that we acknowledge it, so you can tell them, hey, tune in on this Saturday, because maybe you're going to hear something special. So we'll mention their name. But if that's the case, send us an email to cbwsteve@comcast.net so that we can add that to our calendar and make sure that we celebrate that special day with you and or your loved ones, right? Also, by the way, if you have an idea, like we were sharing about these towns 20 miles apart, 350-mile drive, maybe you have something that we should just be including in the sweet and savory.
Something
interesting would be helpful. I mean, we like interesting. We like
something you find interesting.
Yeah, we have all kinds of things like that. But anyway, hey, listen, to make this really official, Karissa, I think you and I both have something to add, right?
Yeah.
Because what conspiracy theory episode would be complete without what's on yours? You have pictures.
You have the card holder.
It's
a Stray Kids PC card holder.
Mine is like the Viking.
Yeah.
Cow hat, steer hat. My idea is that not only will the alien thought messages get absorbed, but they'll go out the horns and shoot back.
That's perfect. See, mine is Han Ji-sung, who has a song called Alien. So
that's perfect. I don't know why this.
I don't know why my card says cats are my favorite.
I think I'm crooked. What happened?
The card on it, I have a sticker that says cats are my favorite people.
I like that. That's good. For those of you at home, if you have your foil hat and you want to put it on for the rest of this episode, just to protect yourself, please feel free to do so.
I know you have one. Put on the foil hat, dude.
Carla does mention, I want to go back to the April Fool's thing. Kathy, my sister, Kathy Garlick, says, I don't like April Fool's so much. Carla says, when we were kids, Kathy and Stephen were the April Fool's Day pranksters. And
Kathy claims she outgrew it.
We actually got in trouble at least one time for trying to. We read a whole bunch of them somewhere in a book or something that was like, here, it may have been like Highlights magazine, that was giving kids funny ideas. It was something that was supposed to be innocent, And one of them was to switch the sugar bowl and put salt in the sugar bowl.
Oh
And Dad
no.
put salt in his coffee that morning at breakfast. And we thought it was hilarious. Dad did not think so. I think that was the last time we tried to pull an April Fool's
Grandpa.
joke. Jerry, I want Jerry's mentioning something here I think is important. Today is World
Yes.
Down Syndrome Day. Thank you, Jerry. I think it's important to, when we do have the opportunity, to acknowledge some of the days for those who sometimes are misunderstood. I don't even want to say marginalized. I think just misunderstood. And sometimes people who have certain conditions are in fact marginalized, are in fact made almost to feel like outcasts. So it's important to recognize that. Thank you so much for sharing that. That today is World Down Syndrome. What is Christopher
You're not my
saying?
favorite people. You're Han Ji-sung's favorite people.
There we go.
He likes cats.
We convinced Mom that we got a dog one time. I don't even remember that one, Kathy. I'll have to touch base with you later about that. Listen, we want to get into some of the crazy conspiracy theories that we came across and have been talking about. And one of the things we want to encourage you to do in the chat to our Brew Crew, if you're aware of any strange, funny, or even just a favorite conspiracy theory. And by the way, we don't want to make fun of anyone who really believes some of these theories. If you have one,
we'd love to know why.
We'd love to know which, if it's any of the ones that we share that you think may actually be true, or if there's one that you actually are serious about. We're not going to tease you about it. We're not going to make fun of you about it. We're curious about those, and in some cases, right? Why? What is it about that? What's the evidence that has gotten your attention? But the first one that we had on our list is one that I think most people are aware of, and it's the Earth is flat theory.
Yeah.
Right. That instead of being a globe. Yeah. I mean, it's not a new theory. I mean, there were times in centuries past when that was the common understanding or belief. But the theory is that Earth is not a globe, a sphere. It is actually flat like a coin, and that the things that associate with that, things like space travel, and it gets tied into things like, no, we don't really have satellites in space. No. We typically, when we travel, we're just going straight across. There's no curvature or anything else. And if we go too far, we could fall off the edge, I guess. But yeah, the Earth is flat theory, and I'm curious. Let's see. I wanted to see Rick's comment here. Okay, that's good. That's a support of what Jerry was sharing. No. Yeah. Yes, pure honesty. The other thing I love about a lot of the people I know, have met and know that have Down syndrome, they love music. They love dancing. They love to love. They're just fun people to fun.
Yeah,
they love to have fun.
The ones that I've
party animals.
They are.
Here's another conspiracy theory. I want to know how many of you have heard of this one. The IKEA maze experiment. The theory is, the conspiracy theory is, IKEA stores are secretly designed as a maze to make humans wander and see how long they will wander before they buy something in the IKEA. That they're just basically getting lost in this maze, and the only way to get out is to buy something.
I can't go to IKEA because if I go to IKEA, whether I need something or not, I will buy at least something.
You end up buying something.
It's
or annoying. Stopping on the way out and having having meatballs for lunch or something.
I've never eaten there. I need to go there just to eat, just to say I've done it.
All right, here's one that you and I talked about, Karissa. Denver International Airport conspiracy. People think that the Denver International Airport is hiding bunkers for elites, secret societies, even the New World Order. Part of that is because of pictures posted online of weird art, underground tunnels, and the giant blue horse statue, Lucifer, that helped to add to the theory that there are secret messages and that it's all being done as because of its central location and everything. Yeah. So how many of you heard that one?
I've never been to the Denver airport, but Shalane has, and she passed out there. So I don't know. Maybe
completely passed out. She almost passed out.
They wouldn't let her fly.
No, because she hyperventilated trying to run for her flight because they were late
in the Mile High City.
Didn't have enough oxygen. She started.
But I think it's a conspiracy. I think it was the aliens. The aliens didn't want her on that flight.
How about the Nicolas Cage time traveler theory? That there are supposedly people find pictures of someone who looks like Nicolas Cage that goes back into like the late 1800s and early
Centuries.
1900s, and they'll find these crowd pictures and they'll say that's Nicolas Cage, and they think that Nicolas Cage has existed for centuries. Basically, he's been
I
around
believe that.
at least for a couple of hundred years. How about this one? And this one comes up with different famous people, but there is one that says that Walt Disney has been cryogenically frozen and is being kept beneath Disneyland. Now, I don't know why they would be keeping him down there. Maybe
I think
it was
they keep him under the apartment on Main Street.
Yeah, that was his apartment, right?
Yeah.
And some of that could be because you've heard this came up for many years about like JFK, Hitler supposedly either being cryogenically frozen or living someplace else. You hear it about Michael Jackson, about Elvis, about all these people. And I mean, obviously, it's not true about Elvis because he's still alive. He's just around.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's with Tupac and Andre the Giant in Greenland.
That's correct.
In the bunker.
That's correct. I thought for a minute you said Audrey the Giant, and then it died.
Audrey the Giant. Who's Audrey the Giant?
Yeah. Oh, how about this one? We need to talk about this one because this has been a family topic for a few years. The missing sock portal, that clothes dryers are actually portals to another dimension filled with single socks. Now, we did a short film a few years back as part of our family's film festival that was based on that concept. And the idea was that the socks don't just disappear, that they're actually taken by an entire race of sock monkeys
to make
who live in another dimension, and they use those, they pull the socks through the dimensional portal so that they can make more sock monkeys.
Because sock monkeys don't just come out of thin air. You need socks.
Well, hello.
So,
yeah, I mean, let's face it. You need to have a source for sock monkeys.
You need a source for sock monkeys.
And again, just inviting all of you out there. Kathy was saying, let's see, I'm just looking at some of the flat Earth among all the round planets, saying, well, this is awkward. Yeah. Jackie Chan fight scene in IKEA where in the course of fighting our bad guys, he inadvertently constructs a bedroom set. Christopher says, thank
Kathy,
you, Rick, for the...
I have to comment on Kathy's because my governmental conspiracy theory that I was always into was Watergate, and I was angry when they revealed the source of Deep Throat before he passed away, because the whole thing was going to be that we would never know who Deep Throat was, the Watergate conspiracy, until after the fact. And they blew it for me.
And Kathy, I read that same book. I read Best Evidence, and it was riveting. And then it sort of got to the point where it's like, okay, now you've left all the
you're stretching.
Yeah, and it just didn't. It was like it didn't. It went off the rails somewhere. It's been years since I read that one. Here's another one: the Mandela effect. We had an entire episode talking about that, but the idea that that the whole Mandela effect thing is about the idea that people have experienced different realities. And it started with Nelson Mandela, that when Nelson Mandela died, people were like, wait, he died in prison years ago. I remember that. There are things about like the Fruit of the Loom logo that people remember it being like a cornucopia. And Fruit of the Loom says, no, that was never part of our logo. I know that reality. And they think that there's like a matrix type of situation.
Yeah, that's happened to me so many times.
Yeah, we've all experienced that where it's like, wait, that happened. Not just, I think I remembered that a different way, but we are convinced. We go, no, that happened differently. That person already died years ago. I remember their obituary. Or no, I had that product and it looked like this.
Yeah, I remember.
We run into that. Oh no, here we go. Christopher's okay. Hollow Earth hypothesis. Yes, it posits that advanced beings or aliens inhabit a hidden inner world. There's a similar one about the moon, Rick, where it's supposedly the moon is hollow and there are secret bases inside the moon.
Kathy, how about this one? That is one of my favorite ones.
Birds aren't real.
I love this one.
This was a satire. That was a satire that was done at one point, and I think it was done in cartoons or something.
Right.
But it turned cultural phenomenon that claims that every bird in the sky is actually a surveillance drone being run by the government. Proponents believe that the government replaced all living birds with robots that recharge by sitting on power lines.
Well, I know for a fact that all of the birds inside Disneyland are animatronic.
Yeah,
and
even the ones,
sexual.
especially the ones that jump onto your table if you're eating at
Or
an
dive
outdoor
bomb your
cafe and
head.
take food right out of your hand or off your
The
plate,
ones
right?
that dive bomb your head are definitely animatronic.
Correct. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
So I think some of the people who work at Disneyland, some of the
Are
cast members
definitely
are
animatronic.
animatronic. It's
For
like,
sure.
wow, that looked real. It
Yeah.
felt real when that
Wow.
person walked
They
by and
did
picked
such a
up
good
garbage.
job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they scanned my my wristband to get on that ride,
Right.
that looked like a real person.
I thought it was a real person.
Um, the Finland conspiracy. A bizarre theory suggests that Finland does not actually exist. Instead, the claim is that it is just open water between Russia and Sweden, maintained as a secret fishing spot for the Japanese and Russians who ship the fish out under the guise of Nokia products.
Here's what I want to know. What's so special about the fish in that spot that it would have to be top secret? What is your special fish?
Well,
I don't understand.
right. I think we
That's
need
the
to explore
question.
that because there's a lot to be
What
said
are
about the
these
fact that
fish?
what in fact are these fish? Um, the Starbucks name marketing.
I love this
Some
one.
believe that baristas at Starbucks are instructed to deliberately misspell customer names on the cups. The idea is that customers will find the misspelling either funny or frustrating and post a photo of the cup to social media, which gives Starbucks free advertising.
Christopher, how do
I
you feel about this one since we both worked for Starbucks?
Yeah, and here's what I'm going to say as well. I had not heard that specific theory before, but now I believe it. I believe it. I
I
think
know
that one
it's
has
too
some
soon
truth.
for these, but there you have to it's too soon, but also it's
Kathy,
factual.
this is an entirely separate thing that Christopher posting the Chuck Norris thing. Many of you know that Chuck Norris passed away in the last 48 hours. And Christopher has always been like the purveyor of Chuck Norris jokes. And so we started a stream yesterday, maybe not in great taste, but not inappropriate for our family, where we were posting up on a family thread, on a messenger thread, different Chuck Norris dying and the afterlife jokes. And I'm not going to say it got out of control because I don't think anything that our family does ever really gets out of control, right, Karissa? It's more, it has its own appropriate chaos to it,
It causes the face palm.
but in a
But
good way,
yeah,
in a
it doesn't
friendly way.
shock me at all because years ago I got Christopher a Chuck Norris joke book, and that's all I heard for 3 months was Chuck
Yeah,
Norris jokes. So I'm pretty
yeah.
used to it by now.
How about this one? This one, Darth Jar Jar. There's a legendary
This
Star
one,
Wars theory suggesting that Jar Jar Binks was originally intended to be a powerful Sith Lord. Believers point to his clumsiness as a front for Force-aided combat and suggest George Lucas changed the plot after the character was so widely hated. after the
I
the
hate
first
this
movie.
theory so much because the idea, I mean, he's evil. I'll give you that much. He's
Yeah,
just
there's
evil.
just such a love-hate relationship for Jar Jar.
No, there's
How
just
about this
hate.
one? Got to get through a few more here because we got a few other things to cover. Stevie Wonder can actually see. One of
I
the most
love this.
persistent, lighthearted celebrity theories is that the legendary singer is faking his blindness. Evidence often cited includes him catching a falling microphone on stage or attending basketball games and watching the action go up and down the court.
Now I'm
You know,
curious.
listen, you're gonna have to start watching
Curious.
more carefully. Um,
Yeah.
How about this one? This is based on a joke by comedian Mitch Hedberg, but it's taken off. Bigfoot. The theory points
I
that the
love
reason we never have a clear photo of Bigfoot isn't because of bad cameras, because Bigfoot is physically blurry in real
yeah.
life. He's
Yeah.
just a blurry creature. He
It's
is
like
not in
pixelated.
focus. Big bread and toasters. There's a theory that bread companies actually pay off toaster manufacturers to include the high setting that always burns the toast, which forces consumers to throw away ruined slices and buy more bread. It's like
More
a
bread.
planned obsolescence, but in a different
Right.
way. How about this one? We know about the Paul McCartney,
Right.
right? Supposedly dying in 1966 and being replaced by a lookalike. And if you played, I can't remember which record it was. Kathy, I don't know if you remember, but
Yeah,
that
one of the Beatles records,
one
if you
of the
play it
Beatles records, if
backwards.
you played it backwards, it said Paul is dead. And supposedly there was evidence and things like the
Other
Abbey Road
things, other
picture that
songs,
his
yeah.
foot, there was a different foot and that kind of, it was all
It might
supposed to
have been
be.
the Abbey Road album that if you did that, I can't
That's
remember.
probably was. How about this one? Avril Lavigne, the singer Avril Lavigne, is also supposed to be dead. There's a theory that claims that she passed away in 2003 and was replaced by a lookalike named Melissa Vandella. Proof usually involves fans scrutinizing her facial structure, handwriting, and fashion choices. Is that the Vandella effect, since
Okay,
supposedly was
here's what I
replaced
want to
by
know.
Melissa
How did they
Vandella?
come up with this name? Where did the name come from?
I
Like,
don't
how
know,
do we know
unless
her
there really is a
Melissa
person named
Vandella?
Melissa Vandella. I don't know.
Maybe.
And then Trader Joe's parking lots. How many of you shop at Trader Joe's? This theory suggests that Trader Joe's intentionally builds tiny, cramped parking lots to make their stores appear busier and more popular than they
I love
actually
that.
are.
See, I don't shop there, so I kind of love that about them.
People who know Stevie Wonder talk about seeing him walk around things on stage that he couldn't know are there. Yeah. He is the walrus, right? That's correct. All right, listen, we're gonna do another little fun thing here, and
Oh,
that
I'm
is
so curious about this.
this is coming up with some theories about us, our own conspiracy theories. So here are 5 fake conspiracy theories about me to begin with. All right, and you see what came up on this. They are as follows. Number 1, the bottomless coffee mug. Steve's coffee mug never empties because it's secretly connected to an underground coffee pipeline.
It's like the TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside.
Gnome, sweet gnome. Steve is actually descended from a race of Norwegian gnomes who have a legitimate claim to the Norwegian monarchy title.
I love that. I'm going with that one. I'm rolling with it.
All right, this is important. Every episode of Coffee Breaks is actually a coded transmission to an alien race preparing to invade Earth. It's going out there.
I love it.
We have a powerful antenna. Similar to Nicolas Cage, Steve is actually a time traveler who appears in photos and film from over 100 years ago and is represented even further back in paintings, sculptures, and even hieroglyphics.
I would love to know how you're represented in a hieroglyphic.
Yeah.
What did you look like in a hieroglyphic?
I don't know. Steve has a secret career. Steve has a secret career as a blimp pilot whose call sign is Captain Helium. I don't know. Here are some about Karissa. Here's some conspiracy theories about Karissa. First of all, the picture in the middle of this board looks like, what's her name from Big Bang Theory, Howard's wife.
Yeah, the Bernadette.
Yeah, Bernadette.
I'm a redheaded Bernadette.
The mermaid theory. Karissa spends a lot of time in the water with a secret group and may actually be a mermaid.
Okay, can I ask a question? Did you just say to ChatGPT generate 5?
I would never do that.
Conspiracy theories?
No,
because
I would never do that.
The mermaid one is like on the nose. That's what I want to know.
I may have gotten some AI help in creating these boards that you're seeing.
Yes, the mermaid one is on the nose.
Karissa keeps miniature aliens in her cupboards that help keep the rats and other pests away.
They're also called cats.
Called cats. Karissa's husband Jason is actually Bigfoot.
I am so happy with these. I am so happy with these.
Recordings of Karissa's voice played backwards say Paul is dead.
Everything I say backwards is Paul is dead.
Karissa is secretly a member of a K-pop group called Myeongcheong-e.
Love, love, love.
Do you know what that means?
I have no idea.
I think it's some form, I can't remember now, but I think it may be some form of weird Korean vegetable or food or something that people like, something that people can't eat, like it's something gross. Yeah.
I'm going to look at it.
All right. Even though she is not here, we do have 5 fake conspiracy theories about Chelan as well. First of all, Chelan's so-called vegan recipes are really Soylent Green.
Soylent Green is people.
Chelan is just her secret identity. She is really a superhero known as Cheech of old.
Cheech of old.
The ancient.
This tracks. This tracks.
Chelan's husband, Dustin, doesn't really exist. He is AI generated.
I buy that one.
That's
I
possible.
subscribe to this theory.
The Matahari theory. Shalane claims to be an aspiring actress, but that's really a cover for her work as a government spy in Yakima, Washington.
And yeah, in Krakow, of all places.
Yeah. Shalane's cats are actually from another planet. That's really not a
See,
conspiracy theory, more like a known
Christopher,
fact. Yeah, it's just known fact.
Christopher, I call you out. I'm calling you out.
And then we were coming up with, and I don't know, we're getting close to the time here, but just curious as to whether anybody in the Brew Crew has any fun. What if you had to make up a conspiracy theory about yourself? What would it be?
Coffee
You can
breaks.
stick that in the chat. Or how about, if you don't want to do one of those, come up with a conspiracy theory about coffee. For instance, coffee lids are secretly designed on the disposable cups to spill exactly one time per cup,
Yeah,
to leak.
yeah.
Right?
I love the idea of engineering that.
Yeah.
How
How
would you
about
want to
this one?
engineer that?
Decaf coffee is really a placebo experiment. It's fully caffeinated. They just want to see if it
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
a difference. Or conversely, caffeinated coffee is a
It's
placebo. There's
actually
no
decaf.
caffeine in it.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
I'm sorry, but there was caffeine in my coffee today.
Soylent Green is Chicho. Yeah. Hey, listen, this has been fun. We do want to continue to explore this. And again, if you are in the Brew Crew right now making comments, feel free to throw in some of either your own favorite conspiracy theories from the greater world, something that you would want to make up as a conspiracy theory about yourself, or maybe one about coffee. You don't know. We don't know. We just love these. We love these all the way
They're
around,
fun.
and just love the idea of exploring some of these, because some of these do make you go, huh.
Yeah, I love the ones where you can follow the trail and be like, okay, I can see where this came from. I can see why this is a theory. It's
Yeah.
interesting,
Yeah.
Those are fun.
That's part of the fun of doing this anyway. Hey, listen, I do want to tell you a little bit. We do have several episodes coming up over the course of the next month. We want to talk a little bit about what's in the works. I already mentioned at the outset of the episode today when we were doing our charcuterie that we're not going to be here next week. Lots of times when I'm going to be offline, Karissa or Shalane are available to host, and we always look forward to that. However, we're all going to be busy next week. Carol and I are going to be in the Portland area for some support for some family and friends. Carissa's going to be participating, and I think Christopher's going to be there to participate. Jerry Thompson, Dr. Pepper is carbonated prune juice. Sorry, I just saw that one and it was like, gotta acknowledge that. And Rick, I was not actually born in 1946, but hatched from an antique dinosaur egg.
I like that he's a stegosaurus.
Hey, listen, I'm good with
great.
all of these. These are great. Keep them coming. We will be gone next week. We're all going to take a break, and you can feel free to do the same. We will be back on April 4th. And coming up on April 4th, we're going to have a fun guest. The lady who is a beautiful violin player and singer. She's well trained in these areas, and she goes online and to some of her events as the Violin Elf. And you're going to meet the Violin Elf and her real persona on April 4th, and maybe even get to hear some of her music. So you'll want to be here for that. And then they've got a biggie coming up on April 11th, Karissa. We're all going to be here for this one. This is our 7th anniversary episode. Can you believe that? As we get into
7's
April,
a lucky number.
It is a lucky number that we're going to have, that we're celebrating the fact that we have been doing this now for 7 years.
Thanks for sticking with us for 7 years, guys.
Right? I mean, it really is amazing that this has happened. 7 years. This is episode number 310. We have had 177 episodes that have included a guest or guests, and 120 individuals have taken the time to come on Coffee Breaks with Steve as a guest. And so we're looking forward to this big celebration. You'll want to be here. We are going to do some things to celebrate on that day, some special things that are in the works. Not going to talk about them yet because some of them are kind of fun surprise. But then we're going to keep going after that as we go into our 8th season. We are going to, Karissa and Shalane will be here. I'm going to be out of town. And have to confirm this with Shalane, but I'm pretty sure that she's planning on being here, because
Could just
otherwise
be one sister.
it would just be sister. It
Sister
wouldn't even
act.
be an act. Or it'd just be act. I don't know.
It'd just be
But
act.
we're hoping that Karissa and
One act.
Shalane will be here. They're going to have a topic of discussion between the two of them
We don't know what.
that
We'll see.
you will want to be here for. This picture looks more like you than the one on that conspiracy board.
It does.
Yeah.
But this one was this was directly from an actual photo, though.
This was, the other one was too, but it just,
was
the AI engine just went, whatever.
Eh.
And then on the 18th, no, this shouldn't say the 18th. This should say the 25th, because that's the 18th.
That's the 18th.
There's a conspiracy about the dates on here. This should say April 25th. We're going to have another musician on, a harpist. We have never had a harpist on the show. I don't know that many harpists, but a harpist by the name of Kathleen Kinney, excuse me, is going to be here on the 25th, not the 18th, to share her story. And again, maybe we'll get a chance to hear some of her music. So we do have more in the works, and we will be sharing more of the upcoming episodes as we continue to get things ready and recorded and set up. But we also want to hear from you. Besides your conspiracy theories, what are the topics you'd like to discuss? Who are the guests that you would like to see on this show? So many of those 120 individuals who've been on here came from suggestions or introductions that the Brew Crew, has made for us. So we count on that. So please send us an email to cbwsteve@comcast.net with any of your ideas, any of your thoughts, any of your suggestions or introductions to people that you think would be a good guest for the show. We love our guests on the show. The stories are what make it special. They don't have to be someone famous. They don't have to be somebody who's written a book or run a marathon, although they might. But we just want people with stories. You've seen that if you tuned in. And then finally, just a reminder that, and some of you know this, some of you are out there, but we have a YouTube channel for Coffee Breaks with Steve. And while the chat and the Facebook tends to be kind of our core gathering around the table of so many of the Brew Crew, that YouTube channel is where we can get this kind of fun episode, or some of these way cool guests that we have had and continue to have, out to a broader audience who may want to see these episodes, who may be inspired, encouraged by hearing someone's story. And that's important too. So would you please make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel? And then if you're already subscribed, share it with people in your network, in your circle. Let them know, hey, Coffee Breaks with Steve is a really fun show, because people like Karissa come on here. We wear foil hats to keep the aliens from reading our minds. But we also have other amazing guests on here who share from so many different perspectives. All right, there's my plug for that. I think I've probably said enough there. So this has been great, Karissa. Thank you so much for being here and being my co-conspirator today. It's been
Thank you for having me again.
And thanks for being had. And to all of you, thank you. I mean, really, the Brew Crew is our Brew Crew members are also our co-conspirators, not just today, but every day. You make this show special, and you do a lot to make everything special. We know that beyond this little bit of time that we spend here together each week, there's a lot going on in your world. There's a lot going on in the world around us. And we all have the ability to touch lives. We all have the ability to follow our passions so that things can be better. So please find a way to make a difference in your world this week. God bless you. Have a great week. We'll see you in 2 weeks on Coffee Breaks with Steve.